Corsair's Hydro Series RGB Platinum coolers are made to keep cool even in the most thermally challenging situations, with ML Pro RGB fans included to maximize performance with minimal noise, as well as a pump with a thermally optimized cold plate, a low noise design, and dynamic multi-zone RGB lighting with 16 individually addressable LEDs. Find out more about Corsair's Hydro Series RGB Platinum coolers via the sponsor link in the video description.
Excellent!
What's up guys, how's it going, and welcome to Paul's Hardware. Today's video is going to be about this graphics card right here. This is the Gigabyte Aorus Xtreme version of the GeForce RTX 2080 Ti, the highest end of NVIDIA's current GPU offerings. The RTX indicates that it supports ray tracing, although there's not a whole lot of ray tracing stuff we can test it with right now. Battlefield 5 is finally out, but more to the point though, today I'm going to be giving you guys an unboxing and a closer look at the card itself, and then I'm going to be testing it by playing games at 4K and 1440. On the back of the box, we can see some of the key selling features here. They have a custom designed 300mm fan cooling solution. They've got a custom designed video output solution, so you can do 3 HDMI outs or 3 display ports out, different sections of there for where you plug stuff in. Allows you to connect it in different ways. We also have direct copper contact heat pipe cooling solution, and we have an included VGA holder, which I will hopefully show you guys in just a moment once I actually pull this out of the box. Box contents are pretty straightforward. It is a fancy box. It is a large box. You do get a 4-year warranty for this graphics card, which is a little bit longer than typical graphics cards. A bit more information on the video outs. A driver disc. I don't know when those are going to go the way of the dodo. A quick guide in multiple languages for stuff. Graphics card itself we'll take a closer look at in just a second. You do get a Aorus case badge with the Falcon logo on it. And this is the actual GPU support bracket, which comes in pieces. So there it is, pretty straightforward. There's 3 pieces, so depending on the height, you can have it be this high or taller if you add the extra little extensions in there. It's got some rubber on the bottom. All the pieces are made of metal, so that's nice. And then just got a little adjuster piece here that you can tighten down with this little nut, and then your graphics card would sit on that. That's not how it's supposed to work. All right, so first impression, the shroud is large. The frame is also made of plastic. I do like a metal shroud a little bit better. Gigabyte, actually my favorite shrouds that they made were the 900 series, the earlier 900 series cards that they did, which I wish they would get back to, but more to the point, the shroud being plastic doesn't necessarily affect the cooling in one way or another. It's more just for feel and durability in my opinion. But beyond that, we have orange accents, but these are just in all of the protective caps that they've put on everything here. So let me pull these off. And now you can see there are no orange accents. So good job, Gigabyte. Thank you for not putting orange accents on all of your Aorus stuff. I do appreciate it for a specific orange and black build, but I don't always like the orange. If you have the choice to remove it, I think that might be a good option. Now on the back here, I already mentioned the video outs, but that is something that is distinct from this graphics card, and they've separated them into zones. It's clarified in that bit of documentation in there, but if you're plugging into one zone, you can't use stuff from the other zone. Again, it adds more functionality by allowing you to plug things in differently. Specifically, multiple HDMI outputs are helpful for existing VR setups, although you do now have the Type-C still as well, so for virtual link headsets that come out in the future, you'll still have compatibility with that. You also still have your NVLink bridge up there for 2-way NVLink SLI configurations. You have an Aorus logo on the side here that will light up, and that'll probably be most visible from your case. And then you've also got an Aorus logo on the back of the card that will also light up. I believe all of these are RGB, and there are also some cool RGB logo effects that you can do. There's some rings that surround the fans there as well, which we'll also take a look at once we get this card actually plugged in. Beyond that, it is a fairly weighty card, which is often a good sign for cards like this. It just means there's more actual metal in there, more mass to absorb and help dissipate heat. We got dual 8-pin power delivery connectors there. And then of course we got a back plate, which pretty clean design, I would say. Of course accented by that logo, but you know, nothing too shiny going on. I would say it's a handsome looking back plate. Handsome. I've never described a backplate as handsome before. This is a fairly unique implementation for RGB LEDs in the fans. There's actually an LED that comes out at the end of one tip of one blade of each of the 3 fans. So there's one here at the end of the central fan, and then there's one here on this fan. And then since the fans are spinning, those lighting up gives a circular visual impression of the LEDs. This is a custom designed version of the RTX 2080 Ti by Gigabyte, so they've also updated the PCB and the power delivery. It has a 16+3 phase power delivery setup to go along with that 4-year warranty. And then of course they've also overclocked it out of the box with a core boost clock of 1770 megahertz, which is 225 megahertz faster than the reference card's boost clock of 1545 megahertz. Alright guys, we're jumping into some gameplay testing here, and in case you haven't noticed, we're actually a few weeks late on this. We actually recorded most of this video a while back, and then the footage didn't turn out good, the 4K capture stuff, so sorry about that, but we are recapturing now. We have updated the driver to version 417.22, and then for our first game we're playing Fortnite. We're in windowed full screen mode at 4K, 3840 by 2160. We're using epic settings, VSync is off, motion blur is on, and Joe's gonna do some gameplay testing to see how this system performs. Again, we're using the 9900K, 4.7 to 5 gigahertz. All the stats for the system are in the top left, so you can see the 9900K, the RTX 2080 Ti, as well as the GPU memory and fan speed, and then of course the all-important frame rate, frames per second, just currently hovering around 75 to 80. We're playing early in the day, so Joe's mostly playing against elementary school kids. He's been practicing for a month.
Compared to kids that have probably been playing since they are able to. And for the record, I like this game. My aim still sucks though.
Joe has loaded up on ammo. He is now engaging the enemy. Just full frontal attack. Uh-oh. So just to recap, guys, we're maxing out at the mid-80s, maybe 85, 88 frames per second, and then when Joe dies, the frame rate drops to, that doesn't affect the frame rate, but in the low range, we're getting in the 70s, which isn't too bad at 4K. If you're going with a 4K 60 hertz monitor, that'd be a good solution for you. Next, we're going to try 2560 by 1440. Maybe a higher frame rate will improve Joe's aim.
No, my aim is still shit on that one.
Aim will still suck. Come on, kill him, Joe. Get him!
As you can see, my aim sucks.
Shoot him in the face with the shotgun.
Shamefully, my aim sucks.
Football players took you out. All right, guys, two changes here. We've switched to 2560 by 1440 for the resolution, and we are now in full screen mode instead of windowed full screen. Shouldn't affect the frame rate too much, but we've already jumped up to 140 to 150 frames per second. Joe is already getting kills, just racking up the kills.
I wish, man.
What are you looking at when you're...
Myself.
Oh, you're looking at yourself.
See my face of shame.
Camera's up there.
I'm embracing the fact that I suck. He can only get better, right?
Well, you can also edit out the parts where you suck.
Nah, screw that. If I leave the parts where you mess up in the videos, I'll leave myself when I mess up. It's only fair, right, Paul?
That's true.
I like to give Paul a hard time when he makes mistakes, because it's funny.
I have to leave that to your discretion. I don't know how honest you're going to be about it. Wait. Come on. Get him, Joe's white damage. Joe's down to 16 health. Joe's dead. Joe forgot he has 9 shield potions.
Oh yeah, I have shield, huh? I'm mad now. So when I'm mad, I play just as bad.
Use your hate, Joe.
Ah. How the hell did you not die from that shot? Seriously.
Football player guy, he's just taunting you. It's like you're aiming the gun at his face, ready to shoot. He's just like, here's a wood wall.
Alright, football player guy, I'm going after you. If I can just kill that guy at least once, I'll be happy.
Joe has a mission.
Here's my mission. I can see him already.
We are getting frame rate dips down into the 110s and 120s at times. Again, it just kind of depends on what you're looking at and the complexity of what's being rendered on screen. But by and large, we're staying... Oh, there's down to 108 for a second. But if you're on a variable refresh rate monitor that's up in the 120 or 144 hertz range, I think you'd be pretty happy with this, especially, of course, if you have G-Sync going on, because that will smooth out any times you have any dips that go below the actual refresh rate of your monitor.
Well, at least I kill somebody, Joe. Jesus Christ.
Joe got a kill. Alright, should we end on a high note? That's the start of a streak probably right here, right?
Jesus Christ.
A streak of shotgunning people in the back.
Oh, this punk again. That football guy is like, does not like me.
Football player.
I can see him, he's right there. Alright, let me try to get one more kill just to redeem myself. Oh, there he is. Yes!
Yay!
You punk! Ah!
Killed the football player. Can't get any better than this.
That was the guy who was killing me the whole time.
Well done, Joe. Alright guys, there's a look at Fortnite gameplay at 4K and 2560 by 1440.
There you go.
Let's move on.
I'm up to 5 now.
Joe died.
Well, I'm up to 5 kills.
5 kills. Okay, we're switching over to some Overwatch now. I'm going to be Wrecking Ball. As for settings, we're at 4K, 3840 by 2160 for right now. VSync is off. These are off. Frame rate cap is at 300, and then graphics quality is at Ultra. And then under Advanced, we are at 100% render scale. I should also roll out and help my team, perhaps. Overwatch is not as challenging of a game to render. Typically, you can achieve higher frame rates, especially if you use that render scale option. So it's really nice that at 4K, we're already getting 160-ish, 170-ish frames per second. That means for FPS gamers who want high frame rate gaming, if you have a really high refresh rate monitor, even a 4K one, you should be able to still handle Overwatch. I'm gonna see if I can handle actually playing, not dying. Shooting. Oh, that's Bob. Wait, is that Bob? No, that's a Doomfist. And I'm just gonna roll around in a circle here.
Oh, you got him.
Hit people. All right, cool, that worked. Nope, now I died.
Aw, it's kind of sad. Poor little hamster just rolls around dead.
Die, Doomfist. We're at 130 frames per second. I'm trying to shoot people. Ah, I died. What's my team doing? My team's doing nothing. I have the most eliminations, the most damage done. I have the only kill and the most objective time. I'm a tank. It's not how it's supposed to work. See, they're all staying here as a team, and my team is just nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. It's okay, though. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't need to win. We just need to have fun. I died. Alright, well that was fairly fun. I'm going to attempt getting myself more frames now. Alright guys, I'm going to switch up the video to 2560 by 1440. Oh, here we go. 300 FPS is what we're dealing with now. Kill! I do feel like I'm being more effective as Farah in this game.
As you die?
Well, I had a decent run before that. So guys, we're probably just going to do a short bit of gameplay here because there's not a whole lot of point in testing Overwatch at 2560 by 1440 with an RTX 2080 Ti because we're hitting the frame rate cap of 300 frames per second, which is good. Very good.
So
and kind of to be expected given the 4K performance we saw.
So that means you're going to stop so I don't have to edit as much?
Probably, yes. I mean, but I can't just...
Yeah, you don't want to get flagged, right? Like.
Yeah, I don't want to get flagged like Kyle's account and flagged for leaving matches early or whatever. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for Overwatch. Let's move on. Okay guys, we have loaded up Battlefield 5 now at this point. The Tirailleur single player. That's what we're currently on. We're at 4K. I'm going to pull up... Oh look, I can pause. How useful. Alright, just take a quick look at video settings. Full screen, 4K. This is our settings for all this. I have left all the fancy effects, film grain, and all that stuff on for now. And then in advanced, we're in DirectX 12 mode, but not currently using DirectX ray tracing. And actually, thanks to the delay and the failed footage capture from a week or two ago, we now have the updated driver and the updated version of Battlefield 5, which is supposed to do a pretty nice boost in DirectX ray trace performance. We actually tested this like a week and a half ago. Captured footage didn't work out, unfortunately, but the DirectX performance just tanked horribly when we turned it on. So we're going to do a quick test just at 4K without DirectX ray tracing. Then we will turn it on with Ultra mode. Oh, by the way, we're in the Ultra preset mode as well. And then we will see what happens when we turn it down a little bit. So again, no DirectX ray tracing right now, just DirectX 12 mode, other than that, standard settings. And here's where I can demonstrate, using Jay's method, screen space reflections, truck over there reflected in the puddle, move over here, it's blocked so you can't see the reflection anymore. It's really nice when Jay goes and does that in this area. I mean, of course, there's plenty of other places where we could show that as well. But moving up here, we're getting a decent frame rate, 80 FPS. I can try to shoot this, as presuming he's a Nazi. I'm not doing a very good job. Iron sights are very inaccurate in World War II. Got him.
Also, we're still mentally foggy from like a 12-hour gaming stream, so that explains why we're not playing that well, right, Paul?
Technically, we should be better at games now. We had 12 hours of practice the other day.
Yeah, we need the brain to rest, you know, just...
Maybe not. So guys, we're in the mid-70s as far as the frame rate goes. With these settings, I'm going to restart the mission, and we'll turn on DirectX ray tracing. Alright, after a quick restart, we're back in the game, still at 4K, and DirectX is on. Again, down here for graphic quality settings, we're at Ultra, so the DirectX ray tracing reflections are also on Ultra. We'll see how it goes here, and then maybe turn that down if things are too messy. Right now, we've already dropped from the 70s down to 39 frames per second, but let's look at the reflection of this Jeep. Supply move, stupid jerk. Look at that, it's still there. It's incredible. That's much more immersive now that I can see that reflection. Oh, but see, I was sitting here admiring the reflections, the DirectX ray tracing reflections, and my brother in arms just got killed. It's horrible. Revenge! Revenge, I say! Now, anecdotally, because again, we lost, or rather the footage we captured before was not very viable or usable at all, but I'm already seeing it's better. I feel like we were getting less than half of the frame rate when we turned on DirectX ray tracing before. Now we've dropped from the 70s down to mid-40s, so could be worse for sure.
It was worse.
I mean, yes, it definitely was worse, so...
It was like down at 15, right, or something.
Glad they brought the game back to what it's supposed to be. Stop shooting me, dude.
Yeah, that's how it works. You just yell at the screen to stop shooting and be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Why isn't he dead?
I'll stop shooting you now. You can enjoy the game.
More ray tracing. If you look at the side of the gun here and the fire is reflecting on the side of the gun, as it should. That's actually kind of cool, depending on the location of the fire. It's bouncing off there. So that is one area where ray tracing is actually showing a visual difference. Alright, so it's definitely playable, you know, if you really like the eye candy, but again, in the 30 to 40 frames per second rate is not that great when it comes to PC gaming in general. So let's go back to the video settings, and let's just switch those ray traces from ultra down to not ultra. Oh look, we now have ultra, low, high, and medium. Let's just go to low. Side by side here, flames on the gun. Does that look better? I mean, it should look worse. It should look low instead of high now. Although they are still there. Frame rate wise though, we have jumped maybe 15 FPS, 10, 15, up to the 50s from the 40s. So that's appreciable. So at this point, let's see if you wanted to do this setup, but maybe you just wanted a little bit more frames per second. You could turn down the actual resolution. So we're going to try 2560 by 1440 at 60 hertz. We have to restart the game in order to turn DirectX ray tracing back off. So I'm going to leave it on for now. Still have ray tracing on, and we've switched back to ultra for the ray trace settings. So let's see what we do here.
Machete?
Oh yeah, I'm just going to hack him up with the machete.
Oh, Jesus.
Jeez, that was rough. Except now I'm being shot a bunch of times.
You got the challenge complete.
I got a challenge completion. You can really see the light reflecting off of the machete as I stabbed that guy with the ray tracing effects.
Right.
So guys, we're getting a much more playable frame rate at this resolution. Even with DXR on high, we're mostly over 60 frames per second. Even when I'm shot and there's a big explosion in front of me. Alright, now we've dropped down to the 50s, but still not terrible. I shot him in the ass. Alright, so low 60s, mid to low 60s, sometimes dropping into the 50s. I am going to now change DirectX ray tracing to low. DirectX ray tracing down to low, and we've again earned 5 to 10 frames per second, maybe a little bit more than that. Up to the 70s now, even above that. Although we're looking at kind of a long shot right now with not a lot of water in the frame.
There's a puddle of water right there.
Puddle of water? Oh, look at the clouds. Oh, look at that. It's the sun. It's like you wouldn't be able to see the sun. Whoa, I'm getting shot at. Oh, hi there.
What?
Pretty sure I shot you in the face.
I know. It's like...
That was odd.
See? Proof that we don't completely suck. It's the game's fault.
Exactly, Joe. And here's our last Battlefield 5 test. Still 2560 by 1440. Just have turned ray tracing off. So if you don't want ray tracing, this is the performance you would expect. Everything else is pretty much the same. We're at ultra on settings, and now we can run forward and perhaps give ourselves the best chance at shooting Nazis in this game. Although, again, oh gosh, look at those reflections. Look how unrealistic that is. It's sucking away my immersion, but never mind. We're going to press forward. It's like, where on the iron sights are you supposed to aim? I assume you want to put the tip of it right on their head. Oh, well that worked. That worked too. Yeah. I'm getting all kinds of headshots.
It's called practice.
Practice. It's called Nazis pissing me off. So whereas with DirectX ray tracing on, our frame rate was maybe starting in the 60s and then maybe going into the 70s and the 80s as we turned it down to low and moved into situations where there was less water presence, we're now consistently in the 115 to 125 frames per second range. Oh, that's another nice shot. Suddenly I can aim. I don't know where this is coming from. Point being though, this is a better play experience when it comes to smoothness and fluidity. Of course, just don't have those ray traces. I miss you, Ray.
I like how the helmet pops off.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get under the helmet. Maybe that's why I wasn't shooting him before. I was hitting the helmet and not.
Yeah, you're hitting the helmet, not the underside of it. Yeah.
F is melee. Punch you.
The hell?
Am I dead?
You
Shoot these guys in the dick.
I like reading the comments where it's like, you guys are working on crazy PCs, but we're not that great on
So spend all our time building the computers and not actually gaming on them.
It's kind of balance, man. You know, it's like it's all about either one or the other.
All right, they killed me. I'm dead, and so is our time playing BF5. Let's move on. All right, guys, we're on PUBG now, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Starting off again at 4K, 3840 by 2160. Everything else is set to high. So Joe is going to be playing because he's really good at Fortnite now. So that obviously should translate over to PUBG as well.
Exactly. That's how it works. This is gonna be bad.
But PUBG is different than Fortnite. All you gotta do is like hide in a bush.
There's two people there. Oh, I'm gonna die like instantly. I'm just gonna
Land in a swamp.
There you go. This is ray tracing here too, right?
No. Initial 4K frame rate for the RTX 2080 Ti Special Aorus Edition. Aorus Xtreme Edition is 110, 120. Inside the house, we're getting close to 130 frames per second. There's a strategy that I've seen people use in Fortnite and in PUBG, which is the very first time the first circle goes down, immediately go to the dead center of the circle, don't worry about looting or anything, and then just crouch in a bush and wait and see how long you can last. It's not as fun.
So yeah, this game.
Oh no, load your gun.
Yeah, it.
Or switch to the shotgun.
Yeah, it. Come on, punk. I'll shoot your face.
Kill him, Joe. Kill him.
There.
All right.
How excited was that? 89 frames per second.
So there's our 4K frame rate, dipping a little bit below 100 from time to time, but by and large staying in the 110 to 120 frames per second range. Joe, you want to try another one?
Yeah, of course.
2560 by 1440?
I'm sure people will enjoy that. There's nobody around me. I'm surprised.
Well, probably because you're about to land in the water.
What the fuck? No, it's not what I wanted. Oh, shit. Apparently there's no glide. There's no glider. Spacebar ascend.
Seize dive, spacebar ascend.
Well, I totally f***ed that up, didn't I? Well, so yeah, you get 155 frames per second, swimming in water.
It's good. Good to know.
Fuck. Damn it. Wow, now after I warmed up swimming, Jesus.
On the plus side, apparently swimming through the water is very challenging in this game because we were getting in the about 155 frames per second. Now that Joe is back on land, we're getting upwards of 200. Ooh.
Crossbow.
I mean, there's some people who get really good with those because they're making no noise, you know.
Fine.
How many bolts does it load with? One? One bolt.
One bolt at a time.
Here's some gunshots.
Alright, fine. Let's go walk towards my death. Yay, Uzi. Screw this damn thing. Don't want it.
No more crossbow.
No, I don't want it. Oh, there's a bridge. Cool. Now I can die so I can stop playing this game.
Just run across the bridge, Joe. I'm sure no one's...
Yeah, I'm sure nobody's waiting there.
It's that dust. Just a random puff of dust.
Yeah, cool. See?
Oh, it's because you're being shot at, maybe.
Hey, yeah.
I mean, they probably just have a
Yeah,
gun
go ahead.
that's not
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, come on, right here.
just taunting them.
Come on.
Come on, shoot me.
Where are you?
Shoot
Dorks?
me.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
probably running up to get closer, maybe. Oh.
Yeah, it sounds like they are. Where the f*** are you? Jesus Christ. What? Oh, I see them now.
Oh, they're up there. Get him, Joe. Get him. Oh, here comes the hurt bubble. Oh no, the hurt bubble.
Yeah. Don't I have a painkiller? Yeah. How do you take it?
Just right click, I think. Gotta wait till it goes all the way.
Oh, there he is.
Or he came back and shot you. Yay, how exciting. Alright guys, that was PUBG at 2560 by 1440. Low range FPS around 155-ish, but that was mainly swimming through water. Mid range was in the 170s to 180s, and then it was actually getting above 200 FPS from time to time, but PUBG can fluctuate a lot. We got one game left to play, that's COD Blops 4. Well, we wanted to play Black Ops 4, but I guess we can't right now, because we can't even connect or load the game up. Let's play something else. So here's Shadow of the Tomb Raider, replacing COD Blops 4 with this because we can't load COD Blops 4 right now. So displaying graphics settings for the time being, we are at 4K to start off. DirectX 12 mode is on. All the other settings you see here, including VSync off. And then for graphics, we're at the highest preset for the time being, and I am just gonna play the game here. Alright, so currently getting mid 60s, mid to high 60s frame rate. This is of course just a walk around and talk to people area, although it is quite beautiful with all the various lighting. We got La Casa Mexicana over here. We get some Mexican food.
Paul actually has good Spanish pronunciation. It's funny.
Character
You're like
development.
La Casa Mexicana. You're like
I grew up with a lot of people speaking Spanish in the area.
Southern California, y'all.
I used to feel awkward about trying to pronounce like Spanish, and I just kind of try to go for it. And occasionally people say like, "Hey, that wasn't bad," and that raised my confidence. I can't quite roll the R's still though. All right, guys, we're going through a fair amount of exposition and stuff right now, but frame rate wise, we're getting in the mid 60s for the most part. Going through the bit of actual gameplay section where I was aiming and firing and there was more foliage, dipping a little bit below that. But I imagine by lowering the actual quality settings, we could actually get ourselves a little bit higher if we were trying to go for a 4K gaming 60 hertz experience. I'm going to switch over to 2560 by 1440 just as we have been, and we'll see if this improves our frame rate. See if the game crashes.
I think it did. Did it?
I think it did. At least it's picking us up where it left off.
That's good, right?
Alright, so again, 2560 by 1440. All the other settings are pretty much the same, and graphics are still at the highest preset. Let's see how we do now. Immediately, we've had a nice jump up into the 110s.
Where's your bow?
Good question.
Do it! Do it!
Do what?
Jump! Like, what the f***? You see that? He bounced.
That was odd. She bounced pretty high there. Oh, this is the fun where you get to wall climbing. It's been a while since I did some Tomb Raider wall climbing.
Wow. He's coming straight out of our
It's all part of the magic of Tomb Raider, Joe. You've never been rappelling before?
If it's anything what I see right now, I don't want to.
I like the scenery here and the environment. Oh, and then I can like swing over to here. Oh, she just barely made it.
She has some good fingers.
She does, very strong.
Jonah, I'm entering your cave.
We are deep in a cave. Ah, there's rats. Screw you, rats.
There was
Probably gotta go through here. Oh god, an eel. That was creepy. I don't like eels.
Ew.
Oh, more eels. Ah! Oh no! Jeez. Stupid eel.
The thing actually scared you?
I wasn't expecting an eel to
I think you need to go up, Paul. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize I had to push buttons. This would be a little creepy if you were running out of water and stuff.
Running out of water?
Running out of air in the water. Come on, Laura, you can do it!
Come on, you're a slim 20-year-old chick. Yeah, you guys can...
It's a good thing she's not overweight.
Good thing she doesn't have the ball on her again, for some reason.
Oh, this whole thing's collapsing. Oh, she's trapped.
Eek.
Break free!
Get the Pilates.
There we go.
Now she has the ball again. That's perfect. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, the boat came back. Thank God. Oh, that was a little scary. That was a little scary. And I think that's probably a good time to stop here, guys. Otherwise, we could just keep playing this game forever. That has been a little bit of Shadow of the Tomb Raider gameplay for you guys. Pretty decent performance here with the Aorus Xtreme RTX 2080 Ti. Thanks to Joe also for donating some of his gameplay today. Are you ready to drop like $1,300 on one of these now? Maybe. Maybe. So there you have it, guys. Some gameplay testing with this new graphics card from Gigabytes, the Aorus Xtreme version of NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 2080 Ti. And I do enjoy this method of testing and this type of video because it actually allows me to play video games. I recently did this with the RX 590, and the feedback from that was pretty positive. This doesn't mean that I'm always going to test this way in the future. I think there is still validity to running a bunch of tests and having the bar charts up there so you can get better A to B comparisons between cards, but especially for a GPU that's already launched when we're just testing a specific version of the card, this is what I'm going to keep doing because it lets me play games. Anyway though, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit the thumbs up button if you did, and check out the video's description for a link to this graphics card, as well as links to other useful stuff like my store, where you can buy shirts and mugs and pint glasses. Thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, go into the cave more. You'll find it.
Oh god, I just died.
He got prodded by multiple angles.
That's a horrible way to end.
Yeah.